everyone, and welcome back to the Cinderella phenomenon. So, in the last episode, a lot of cute things happened. I still have failed to figure out how to get the happy messages again. So I wasn't worried at first, but I'm starting to get a little worried we might be heading towards the bad end here if I don't start being mean to him again. Not in my nature, but more in her nature. Whatever, it's fine. Anyways, so, also, she sent off a letter for something about Bria, and she's gonna try and figure out how to get his journals back, which I'm pretty sure is what she's doing. After I have the letter sent off with a messenger, I return to my work for the day. It starts first off with Mr. Broom and then with serving. I look for Rumple, knowing that it is now his time off, and am surprised when I see him not sitting with other women, but with Karma. The two of them are laughing together? I guess that advice isn't too terrible. I give the best advice, darling. I'm a man of the heart. Perhaps not as much as I am, but I can give you credit when it's due. What are you two talking about? Princess! Well, hello there, Princess. Karma's mischievous smile confuses me. Even Rumple looks surprisingly shaken. You did not answer my question. We are talking about matters related to the heart. Of course you are. I took it upon myself to impart valuable advice to Rumple. You are giving Rumple advice, even though the two of you are always at each other's throats? Ha! Even the bitterest enemies can become beloved friends. All it takes is a shared interest. I have no idea what you're talking about. But before I can say anything else, I am swept up by Delora, who calls me back to work. Interesting. The day goes on, and soon it is almost my break. I go to the front to see if the messenger has returned yet. Oh, Princess! There is a letter here for you. I did not expect a response. I open it up and stare down at the letter for a long time. Writing love letters to a secret lover, Princess. Ugh. Rumple appears behind me, his smile unusually small. He almost looks hesitant to be standing there. It is not important. I stuff the letter into my pocket and continue working. For the rest of the day, I ignore Rumple. I do not want him asking about this letter, just in case things do not go according to plan. He is obviously disheartened by my ignoring him, and his sadness only persists in making me feel guilty. This is not something he can know about, otherwise he will try to stop me. Almost everyone has gone to their rooms, including a very saddened Rumple. The only people remaining are Anise and myself. Earlier, Waltz came in, insisting that he speak to Delora and Parfait, and so the three of them are all off talking in the other room. Curiosity gets the better of me, and soon I find myself sweeping closer to the door. I edge it open quietly with my foot so that I can see what is happening inside. I didn't think that he was still alive. This is very troubling. He must have used a glamour. But the fact that I didn't realize it was him, Is that the princess I spot peeping through the door? I spot peeping through the door? Nah, I try to hide, but all of the eyes in the room catch me before I can do so. Do you eavesdrop on people often, Lucette? I had no real reason to eavesdrop on them besides my own curiosity. It is no harm done, Delora. Lucette, are you almost done with your chores? Ever since that conversation with... I have a crick in my neck. Why is my neck so sore suddenly? No. Anyways, ever since that conversation with Parfait and Delora, I have noticed that the words Parfait and I speak to each other are strained. Delora, however, is unchanged. I expect sarcasm from her now, and she does not deliver. She simply stands still and looks at me somberly. I am. And what are you all talking about? Hiding more things from me? We're talking about the rumors that have been going on around about the palace. What have you heard? I have a right to know what's happening at the palace. We would tell you if we knew for certain, Princess. Walt sighs and runs a hand through his hair. I know the timing doesn't seem right, but I really should show myself out. I have a show early morning tomorrow. He glances around at all of us. I'm gonna excuse myself for the night. Good night, everyone. As he passes by me, he smiles. And to you too, Princess. It's the ladies. Once again, everyone is being secretive. Why the sour face, Princess? Are you worried about what happens to the people in the palace you cared nothing for? Delora! Okay, that was uncalled for. But am I wrong? But really, though, there is something I've been meaning to tell you. Since you're here now, I might as well say it. I knew you for 1 year before I cursed you. I saw what your mother had done to you. And I knew I needed to undo the damage before your birthday. Why is she talking about this now? I called you cruel and wicked when really I knew that the way you were was caused by the way your mother brought you up. And when we talked about Hilda the other day, I was unfair in what I said to you. We all have to face reality, but... Delora pauses, looking surprisingly solemn. She sighs, then continues. I always knew you had some good in you. I saw it in you when you spoke to your dolls. You have a good heart. Oh, that's a shocker. Many people enjoy flattery, Princess, and a lot of people are receptive to flirting, but nothing can measure up to a genuine compliment. Delora just complimented me? Out of all people, I did not expect Delora to compliment me. Not when she makes a point of always telling me the blunt truth. Thank you. There is no shock on Parfait and Delora's faces when they smile at me. I'm beginning to think you and Delora are alike. You're both stubborn and have good in you, but you hide it behind sarcasm. Hey, Lucette and I are nothing alike. I feel lighter somehow. I do not know if I have forgiven Delora just yet, but her cursing me has led me to see many things that I would not have seen before. I owe her nothing, but I am still happy, even if the truth hurts. Oh, what's this? My lovely little princess isn't here with you two. Oh, Rumple! That's her voice. You're early tonight. Oh. Surprised to see me here, beautiful. Rumple's earlier anxiety is gone. He looks at me with unbridled enthusiasm. I heard the princess thank you from a distance. The words are always most beautiful when leaving her mouth. So, you were also eavesdropping. You two are very alike. Not at all. Rumple leads towards me and smiles. There it is! Finally, after all these years! My dream is to one day hear those words from you too, because you say them as gentle as the wind. Ah! If you're here to talk to Parfait about medicine, then I'm out. Lucette, you should leave too. Well then, sleep well, beautiful maidens, and good night. I quickly finish my chores and return to my room, where I lay on my bed contemplating tomorrow. I cannot believe Bria wrote back to me. Tomorrow I will meet with her, and hopefully she will agree to give me his journals. I hope this works, for Rumple's sake. Second good deed, second good deed, second good deed. Chevalier? Mon chevalier. Today I am outside by myself. I think if Parfait or Delora knew, they would do worse than scold me. Pardon me. I shuffle uncomfortably as I sit at the little cafe Bria told me to wait for her at. A part of me is already convinced that she will not come. When I wrote her that letter asking for Rumple's journals, and she responded so easily, I was a little suspicious, but this is really the only chance I have. The only chance you'll have at what? Ah! Bria appears in front of me, not looking altogether unpleased, but still not smiling. Nothing. I do not like her, but I will have to play nice if I want to get Rumple's journals back. Thank you for meeting me out here. Bria takes a seat in front of me, her expression still flat. You asked me in your letter why I was refusing to speak with Rumple, and then you told me you wanted to meet with me to find out why. You want the journals too, don't you? She reaches into a bag and pulls out a few journals that I assume are Rumple's. So she does have them. I know in your eyes I must seem the villain, but I'm not the only one at fault in this relationship. Years ago, when I met Rumple, he was as he is now. Flirtatious, charming, over the top, and yet his compliments still made my heart sore. His compliments may be shallow, but Rumple is far from it. I pined after him for years. He was learning medicine, and I was studying to take over my mother's sewing shop. In the first years that I knew him, Rumple always complimented my work, even though it was nothing special. He insisted we do trade-offs. When we started dating, he would offer me flowers and trinkets, and in exchange I would sew him some article of clothing. I can see he's still wearing the scarf that I made him. That scarf is from Bria. We fell in love. Rumple became a changed man, more serious. He became a doctor, and I opened up a shop. We were supposed to have a fairy tale ending, but her expression falls again as she looks absently down at the table. We saw in each other ideals that didn't exist. Love can be shallow, or it can be deep. I felt our love was deep, but in truth, I only ever knew the very surface of Rumple. The surface? I saw his kindness, his charm, and his drive to do what was right. But then as time went on, I also saw what that meant. The world is a place where only the strong survive. People are kind, but they will take advantage of those who are too caring. Those sound like Mother's words. I shudder as I think about Mother's pessimism, the same kind that lies in me. It is a realistic way of looking at the world, but it is also so dismal and cloudy that it makes it impossible to see any light within it. Rumple helped a lot of people. Many of them were wonderful people, and I was always happy to see him do so much. But then, he started putting other people above himself, and because we lived together, that meant me as well. Maybe it sounds petty to you, but no woman wants to live in poverty. I look at her skeptically. In the back of my mind, I remember the convenience of luxury, of so much money. I then recall the feeling of living poor on the streets and flinch. We had a house, and we had a reputation, but Rumple refused money most of the time. He helped lots of poor people, but he also dried out our wallets. And whenever I brought it up to him, he would smile, as if that would just get rid of all of our problems. He made a name for himself as a doctor who helped the poor for minimal money, sometimes for free. And even when I told him we needed more money, he put other people first. He was so selfless that he became selfish. And I told him before that he should have accepted money, that he needed it. So selfless, he became selfish. I had to go behind his back and find payment. What I was making wasn't enough. So I went to find his patients and tried to ask for payment. I became almost like a beggar. Can you imagine my humiliation? Rumple put his patients before Bria. I was convinced he didn't love me, and my love dwindled for him. Our relationship became strained. Bria goes on to explain the events that happened between her and the nobleman. He was one of Rumple's patients, and when she went to him to ask for the money he had originally offered, the two of them became intimate. But it was short-lived, and when the nobleman left her behind, Bria had to deal with a soured reputation. I wanted to make it up to Rumple. I thought I could salvage this relationship, maybe even start over and teach him what was right, but that is not my place. She sighs deeply and gestures at me. I share blame in all of this too, but so does Rumple. That's why I've decided to let this all go. Whatever he does now, you'll have to deal with, because you're his partner. right? Bria hands me the bag of journals. Don't look so surprised. You came in here for these, not to listen to me. I thought on it last night, and I have no reason to keep them around, and they'll just continue making me bitter. I'll have to rely on myself for a while, but that's fine. Sometimes it's easier to keep to yourself than to trust others. She moves to stand up, but I surprise myself by reaching out to grab her hand. Bria, I don't need your pity. I thought the same thing. What? I still think the same thing. It is so much easier to close the world off. It is so much easier to trust no one but yourself, but it should also be a balance. That is what Rumple has taught me. And I want to teach him how to have balance too. You? You're falling for his kindness the same way I did. You fell in love with him, even though you told him yourself that he was shallow and unrealistic. Oh, my heart. It thumps loudly, once in my chest. Love? I can read it right off your face. I know how it feels too, but don't get wrapped up in an ideal, little girl. That is my warning. If you can help him, actually help him, then I guess you're meant to be together. But otherwise, trusting Rumple might only break your heart. I'm not a little girl. I know how to be realistic. My words trail off as I look at her helplessly. Bria surprises me by speaking up quietly. Thank you for listening to me. She pulls her hand away and slowly smiles at me. It is the first honest smile I have seen on her face. I feel something warm at my chest, and then a bright light emanates from my necklace. A good deed? For listening to Bria, or... I glanced down at the bag of journals, then down at my necklace. Not bad. I touch the pendant. The new piece brings a brief smile to my lips. I have 2 good deeds now. Only one more and I can break my curse. Magic? Is this another Fairytale Curse? Yes. I'm glad I'm not the only one who notices when this happens. Your name was Lucette, wasn't it? Rumple talked about you fondly. I hope that the both of you break your curses. Good luck. Bria walks away, leaving me by myself in the town square. My mind swirls with everything that she had just told me. I still cannot bring myself to like Bria, but I feel more closure now. But now something new plagues my mind. How could I fall in love with someone like Rumple, of all people? Gag. The more I say it, the more it becomes a certainty. But rather than fill me with joy, it only makes me more confused. I cannot think about this now. I turn on my heels to head back and bump promptly into a man. Hi, friends! Welcome back! Varg! How you doing, Varg? What's up, Varg? Oh, sorry, madam. He smiles at me and then keeps walking. Where are you going? What are you up to? Let me know. Fritz, what's up? My good man. I stare at him, after him, feeling slightly uncomfortable. With the mask and the cloak, that man reminded me of a performer. I make my way back to the margin with the bag of journals, still struggling to keep my mind from wandering. Every time I think about Rumple being so close to me, or his kindness toward me, I feel jittery inside. Despite everything that Bria said, I cannot stop these feelings. These feelings are annoying. Yet, even as I think that, I know it's not the full truth. Do I really? I hear the marchand's door opening and out steps Waltz. The minute he sees me, his eyes widen and he runs toward me. Princess, where were you? I was running an errand. I hold up the bag, but it does little to ease Waltz's frustration. We were all looking for you, and we got worried that the witches had found you. Rumple already went out into town. Oh, what? I'll go. Please, princess, stay inside. His expression softened somewhat until all I can see on his face is worry. I'll go get Rumple. Okay then. My mood feels completely dashed as I enter the margin to whispers, both relieved and disappointed. Surprisingly, I get away with just a lecture from Delora and Parfait. It seems as if there's something else on their mind, something that most likely involves the rumors circulating about town that they aren't talking to me about. I wait downstairs for a long time for Rumple, but neither him nor Waltz appear. Where are they? And we'll get an answer to that question in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you then, so bye-bye!